John, we are live in Pittman Center today for our hometown spotlight. And even though this area is one of the youngest communities in Sevier County, there's still a lot of history here.
Absolutely. It really dates back generations, going all the way back to the late 1700s. There's a whole museum actually devoted to this quaint mountain town at Pittman Center Elementary School. The Pittman Center Heritage Museum tells the story of Pittman Center from Frederick Emmert all the way up to the establishment of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park through exhibits, photos, and celebrations of the traditions. Now, you do need to call and set up an appointment. That number, by the way, is 865-436-4515. And speaking about all of the great history around here, we want to bring in Sevier County historian Carroll McMahan to talk more about the history here. And Carroll, you were just telling us that just being here right now brings back a lot of memories for you.
Yes, one of our favorite swimming holes was just up the street here, Flint Rock Swimming Hole, where we used to, back in the days before a lot of swimming pools, that was the place to go in the summer.
And by the way, that's where our Cassie Knoll is right now.
Yeah.
So if you see her later, that's the area that you're speaking about. Well, let's talk more about the history of this area and how it came to be.
Okay, you mentioned that it was a young community. Actually, it's an old community. It's just newly incorporated. But Pittman Center, Emmert's Cove has been here since the late 1700s when Frederick Emmert arrived, and shortly thereafter Martin Schultz and Mr. Reagan all arrived here. Those families intermarried, and for instance, out of Frederick Emmert's children, 4 of them married Reagans. They were siblings marrying, you know. But those descendants, some of them still live here, and it's been a close-knit community down through the years. Of course, it was named for Frederick Emmert, who I'm proud to say I'm a direct descendant of. And down through the years, the community has stayed small. When the national park was established, several families just moved down here on the other side of the park boundary and settled here. Glenn Cardwell, who was the first mayor and mayor up until he passed away just about 6 or 7 years ago, came from the Greenbrier side and settled here and lived just down the road here. And he was a great historian for this area, and he was one of my mentors, as a matter of fact.
People are so proud to be from this area too. Talk a little bit about that pride.
Oh yeah, it's a very nice place to come from. See, when Pittman Center was incorporated, it was incorporated as a heritage community, which is a little different from just a usual incorporation, because there's rules in place to keep it rural and to keep it like it's always been as much as possible. Now, a lot of the homes are fancier than they used to be, but since back in the 1920s or so, people, particularly merchants from Sevierville, built cabins up here on the river and would summer up here along the middle prong of the river. So it's always been a very popular part of the county.
Well, it is certainly a beautiful part of town. Thank you so much, Mr. McMahan.